Hello Internet, Demagen here. Welcome back to some more Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, where we are in a surprisingly precarious and odd situation. We have been not kidnapped, not arrested, but Alphino and Alizé have got little shock collars on, and if we screw up, they're going to suffer because of it. And Julius has his orders, unpleasant though they may be. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean, or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries, understood? Although we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. And above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphino and Alizé will pay the price. Finally, we are being given the respect that we deserve. No. I shouldn't be so pernickety about this. It's you, Demagen Blackthorn. I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorian fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them. My comrades, my friends, swept them aside in the dozens as though they were nothing to you. And maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve, mark my words. Ah. Ah. Ceruleum and other necessary materials are in short supply. I'm not sure how long we can last on the stores we have. My wife. My daughter too. They're both. Sabinianus. Cold. The young soldier is on the verge of losing consciousness. I know you are, the so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Damn, tore the sutures. Of all the times, the worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the third bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life, but we made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded, we prepared to strike back, and then night fell and we gathered around the radio. And the roar, terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy. Mind intact, but body broken, a soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could. Murderer. Wow. Doing exactly as I hoped they would, and doing it well. The radio is the same model as the one used at Victor's spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. Get out of my ear, will you? I'm exhausted, and the last thing I need is you and your drivel. Okay. Cards. What's in here? No matter what may betide, I have my daughter, and that alone shall keep me from succumbing to even the darkest of nights. I've never been this cold or this hungry in all my life. While Garlemald was built on a frozen waste, the city itself was always a warm, inviting place. Now all we once had is in ruins. I can't feel my fingers. So cold. Probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. If only we brought some food with us. But perhaps I could use a little magic to... No, I mustn't. God, this is so frustrating. How much longer are we going to be stuck down here? This is no way to live. Is there aught we may do to ease your woes? I know who you are. The Imogen Blackthorn, champion of Eorzea, yes? Our orders are to give you the run of our encampment, but I have my eye on you. So what business do you have with me? I am Decimus, Centurion of the First Legion. It is my sworn duty to defend Garlemald from barbarians such as you, and your very presence here is an affront to my honour. This is Tertium, third among the stations that encircle the city. The decommissioned carriages here now serve as the First Legion's temporary base of operations. It also become a safe haven for those fleeing the turmoil that has befallen the capital. What scant supplies we have are distributed among civilian and soldier alike, and we strive to maintain some semblance of order in these dark times. Our true objective, however, is not merely to survive, but to reclaim our home. We have no time to deal with your band of savages, and if you dare to interfere in our affairs, we will not hesitate to cut you down. You would not stand a chance, mates. You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you best keep your hands off that etherite. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess around with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans for Garleans. Could teleport a lot of in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the etherite's power to keep the place lit, and that comes at the cost of its normal function. Whoa, hello. Huh. These guys are not in a good situation. Alfie. Did you learn anything of notes? Yeah, they're all screwed, mate. And your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greater risks. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realise there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please will you help me tend to them? What can we do, though? This was the guy with the cold fingers, wasn't it? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Ah, thank you. What did we do? The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. Gee, I mean, if you just put the etherite back up, we could teleport a load of food back and forth. So those you met fare no better. I was afraid you'd say that. I knew we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have their contingent deliver supplies? Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognise they're not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Eulus could persuade him? No, we need to persuade Eulus first. They are starving to death. And yet their pride will still mean they refuse help. Well, soon enough. Eulus, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses, as most families kept some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum we need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. No. We will not accept your charity. Then you will die. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, everything will change. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants in the Telophoroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realised. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions to prepare for a combined assault on the Telophoroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word and we'll bring you your ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. The cracks of pride. So, did he agree to it? No. No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Okay. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we're outside, you'll follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Eulus finds himself in the somewhat bizarre position of leading ambassadors of an enemy contingent on a salvage mission. We'll begin our search for ceruleum in Regio Urbanissima. The first location is Forum Solius, a park to the northwest of this station. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the Morbol in a dress. I have no idea where that's from. Can you even see that? Is that behind me? What is going on there? You are to remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. His park materials. Dear Lord. I don't think you can get away with that pun. Shiny. There's a real kind of sense of atmosphere here. It reminds me in obvious ways of what happens to Insomnia in FF15 when we're on our way back to that. But the snow really shifts the general tone. This is the place. Do you think this macabre graveyard for war machina was once a park? So, this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialise. This park was named after the founding father of the Empire, the great Solus Osgalvus. Yes, we've met him. Did we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked Magitech armour? No, we've already drained it dry. Same goes for the rest of the machina in this vicinity. But as our ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I've decided to try one more time in case something has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. For we are helpful souls. And something shiny has immediately taken my eye. Don't expect to find anything there, however. So this park was named after Solus. Forum Solius, in fact. A cursory inspection of the wrecked Magitech armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long since been drained of ceruleum. This, whatever it is, appears to have some sort of symbolic meaning relating to the park. Even though the place is named after Solus, it doesn't seem to be a statue of him. Well, at least not anymore. Maybe it was once a fountain, or somewhere the man himself used to sit. Not that it would matter, even if we knew. Can't help wondering. Huh. Children's slide. Don't think there's going to be ceruleum here. The contraption is built in the style of Imperial war machina, armed with a battery of weapons and capable of transforming into different configurations. But on closer inspection, it appears to be no more than a children's slide. Okay. A lot of people over here. Don't know what they're looking at. Yeah, this place seems to have been completely picked clean. Alfie, what are you doing? I don't imagine there would be much need for Magitech in a park of all places, but then again, I wasn't raised in Garlemald. They may have uses for ceruleum that I've yet to consider. Aha! A little shop. Though rather small by Garlean standards, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant's stall. Perhaps it was built for children to play at shopkeeper. There's nothing inside resembling Magitech or any other device that would be fueled by ceruleum. But it gives us lore about children in Garlemald. Several points of interest are marked on the map of Forum Solius. The pond, children's play areas. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of ceruleum. An awful lot of the kind of fetch quests and stuff that we did very early on in the game were kind of bog standard. You know, go here, get this, take it back, kill 10 bears, whatever. The fact that we are now... I mean, the actual quests themselves aren't more complicated in terms of structure. It's the story that goes with them that makes them all the more interesting. You know, we are literally searching for food for hungry children and stuff. And he looks despairing as well. Oh, it's you. Any luck? There's no sign of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help noticing you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? What? Yes. I mean, no, I'm... It's just... I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all the other children, they just had to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done. Every time. And every time when we get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a cerulean-powered heater, by chance? I suppose it must have been. Come to think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath a hatch. But that was a long time ago when the water still flowed clear and it wasn't this brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I'd wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Gillis, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Garlean would jump out of their skin if they saw it. But the first has a few foreign signiferi and medici, so it doesn't... Medici? Doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now? Alvaro, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of the fire should do the trick. Leave it to me. You're not planning to go in there, are you? Of course I am. That tank isn't going to fetch itself. Nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park. We have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. So, fancy a dip? Oh, a little friendly competition might make things interesting. Step aside while I drink the pond dry. Last one to find a ceruleum tank is a rotten egg. Though I dare say we'll both smell like rotten eggs when this is over. Dear Lord. In we go! You delve into the murky water but come up empty-handed. To add injury to insult, the icy wind on your damp clothing chills you to the bone. Oh. Damage over time? You delve into the same again. Fortunately, the out-of-combat regen is more than capable of dealing with this. And again. And... beneath the water, your fingers catch on what you think might be a handle. Ta-da! Da-da-da-da! It's Legend of Zelda. Secret found? It's been ages since they've got to use that animation. That, of course, is the one that we used to have for skill-ups and stuff back in A Realm Reborn. Cold. However, the grand discovery comes at great personal cost as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and a rancid odour emanating from every ilm of your body. Ulysses will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver to him your prize. Oh dear. Deliver the temperature regulator ceruleum tank to Ulysses. Did you find anything? I hope you did. Uncovering hidden treasure is an adventurous bread and butter, though one is not normally required to go elbow deep in ice-cold stagnant pond water to retrieve it. Nevertheless, many would choose that over mowing down hordes of slavering beasts or solving an annoying puzzles. That's it. And there's still some ceruleum left. Ah, the fire's still not ready. Hold on, I'll give Alphino a hand. He's warming up to... No. No, Dammer. No. Got me an all darn because by fire I am reborn, and my clothes are mostly dry now too. I appreciate you recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated, in Lord Quintus's eyes, you're still envoys deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Ulysses, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did. Not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contributions to the Empire awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat and sitting down for a hot meal. With family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the streets, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song. Of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite the ice would melt and the forgotten grass make its triumphant return. Grey clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings we'd climb to the top of the tallest building we could find to watch the sunrise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble, those friends dead, and those memories. But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had. Soon our chance will come. Just need to hold on a little longer. Sounds a lot like what Emmett was saying. Ah dear. Making us feel for our enemies. I assume there are a load of side quests that I could do for accessories. Owing to the wealth of experience I've accrued in gathering firewood, I was even able to provide Ulysses with some basic pointers on the subject. I thought it might help to further build a rapport and to distract him from his other concerns. Well, at least my clothes are finally dry, though they could still do with a proper wash. No good deed goes unpunished. Right, now that you've recovered from your escapades in the pond, there's another location I'd like to search just outside the park. I suspect we're going to run into scavengers in this one. Everything was built on an enormous scale and with thick, cleanly cut stone, much like Amarot's. Given what we now know, such similarities are no coincidence. So this was, I mean, Emmett as Solus, obviously the Emperor of Garlemald, first Emperor. Naturally he was going to build big, because that was what he was used to. The War Machina appeared to be patrolling the area of its own volition. I wonder whether it is simply following its original orders, or if it now serves the Tlothroi. As you can see, this place is littered with the remnants of various types of War Machina. While my comrades and I have already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took a more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time. That time being now. Rather than prize them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I'd advise you stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. Before even bothering though, you should check the Machina's ceruleum gauge to see if there's any left. It should still provide an accurate reading, even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use an explosive or not. Should you need more, come to me. Okay, let's get to work. We shall take a chance on this one. Ah. Chance taken. Denied. Empty. No idea. Take a chance. Retrieve the war Machina's ceruleum tank to find it. It's still half full, or half empty, depending on one's perspective. Either way, Ulysses will surely be pleased by your discovery. Nice. Oops. More explosives? Wait, is that what I think it is? Not only did this tank survive the attack that disabled the war machina in which it was installed, it also escaped the blast of your explosives unscathed. If medals for outstanding service were awarded to inanimate objects, this champion among cerulean tanks would surely deserve one. You've done it again. Truly, luck is on your side. With this, we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. It's time we headed back. Wait here while I go and see how Alizé and Alphano are faring. We're going to be attacked while we're here? Something's going to happen.
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we?
Hi, Thancred.
Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen. After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of us scouts follow you at a discreet distance. We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside.
Wise.
When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything. The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise. This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel. An interesting development, and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up.
Huh?
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them. With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
They had not gone far.
No, I can see them from here.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
We have the Echo.
I
Video
wasn't
game
expecting
bonuses.
much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage.
You can always kill some of the machines.
For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
Okay.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground.
Yep.
Brought back a king's ransom?
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile. It's a poor attempt at humor. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
What can we do to help?
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Lord Quintus!
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
Not the heaters.
But, sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
Well.
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
Nothing good, I would imagine.
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question.
But the priorities.
Will they ever escape this cold? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Eula spoke?
Finished your war, Council?
Ooh, that face. He's not happy.
Alphino and Alizé are to stay here as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil. Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
Not unsurprising. That's the scene that we've seen from them.
After everything we've said and done, this is how you treat us.
This isn't coming from him, though, is it? He's not happy
Our
about
allies
this.
have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
He doesn't care. Well, no, he probably does care, but Quintus certainly doesn't. He's got a conscience.
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands
We
the
were about
Guardians
to step
make,
in.
Indulge them.
Everything will be alright. Have faith.
Get them out of here.
Again, humanizing the antagonists. It's just solid writing. Because they know there's nothing they can do to stop us. And he's clearly cut up about it as well. Alphino and Alisaie will be fine, providing they do not resist. Alia Iacta Est. I feel like I should know what that means, but I don't. What does Alia... The die is cast. The die is cast. Okay, that is going to do it for yet another episode of my Endwalker playthrough. This is going to be long, folks. I know my Shadowbringers playlist was like 140, 160 videos or something ridiculous like that, with all of the patch content all the way through 5.5 and 5.5.7. This strikes me as it's going to be a biggie, because we're still on what, level 83 quests? Yeah, we're on level 83 quests out of obviously 90 levels worth of questing, and in some ways the story, the leveling feels slow, kind of, but not necessarily in a negative way. I mean, I could go and do another leveling roulette quite easily just to make myself feel better about the speed of leveling. But as I said, I'm not bothered by it. I don't really care. I'm liking the story. It's for alts that really I care about the actual leveling speed and stuff. But the story's been really good. As I said, doing exactly the kinds of things that Shadowbringers did so well for the Ascians, just humanizing our opponents. And in this particular instance, you know, the Garleans have had a really rough life. They've been sold into the propaganda of the Empire. You know, they're a really good and sensitively done, I would say, at least so far, representation of how people can get swept up in this idea of this is your home, these are your enemies. You know, the fact that they're constantly calling Eorzeans barbarians and savages, they've clearly been indoctrinated into this kind of phraseology. And now we're finally getting to see the side of the Garlean story that isn't the army, or isn't the army at its best. Because pretty much all we've seen of the Garleans is that kind of aggressive army-style stuff. Whereas now, we're starting to see what they are like, because they are, you know, they are enduring hardship. And that is when... What is this guy doing? Yeah, that is when the true character of people comes out, when they are suffering. So we'll find out exactly what Eulus is going to do to help us, or what we are going to have to do to help him next time. Hopefully you've enjoyed this reaction video, folks. I'm pretty certain my thoughts on Endwalker so far are plain to see. I'm really enjoying this section. And I enjoyed the previous two sections in Act 1, even though I was feeling really rough. I'm still feeling rough. But I'm feeling better than I was, and this is really, really tugging at the heartstrings. Good stuff. Good stuff. Until next time, folks, if you like the video, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I will catch you in the next chunk. Until then, happy endwalking. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.